Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know that drill. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at AIH_sports. Follow me on my finance channel at AIH Finance. Okay, so I wanted to talk today about the National, and I was seeing clips from Bench Clear Media. Usually I like these videos, but some of the things that one of the dudes said, I don't agree with. I think he was on a round table with Dr. Beckett, and he was saying, okay, this negativity, and I guess both of them were alluding to the fact that negativity is bad for the hobby and could do something with the prices going down. I don't agree with that. It's all macro. It's what the Fed's doing, right? They're taking the funny money away. When you take the funny money away, guess what? Your card values, your collectibles, and other assets like that go down. Your Bitcoin, your crypto, it goes down. For now, unless they reverse course, then it should gradually go back up. So you have that on one end. And then you have, I think one of the same guy was talking about how basically, I mean, it's not good if you don't go to the hobby. That's what I was getting the message of. The other dude, I don't know the guy's names. The other dude was saying, like, look, it's a bad economy. Inflation is the worst that it has been in the past 40 years. So it makes sense why some people wouldn't go. And I agree with that dude. I don't know if they're trying to play, okay, like ESPN, one guy says this thing, the other guy says the other thing. It could be the case. Whatever it is, I mean, part of what the dude was saying was, look, if you don't go to the National, you're not that serious about the hobby. And my own thoughts, well, there are plenty of shows in the country. For instance, here in Chicago, the Chicago Spectacular, I went, a few months ago, and I was just buying things from my own collection. I've showed you what I was buying. And it's just going to be the same dealers over and over again at the, Atlantic City show. You may have a few more dealers that weren't there at the March show, but it's going to be the same thing in my opinion. Not only that, I was talking with David from Upstate Sports. I was just saying that, look, and he was saying the same thing. The dealers are going to put a lot of money into the show. And they have to pay for transportation. They have to buy accessories for the show, the booths, and if they want to buy any other or rent any other equipment, it's a lot of money. Now, some vendors definitely have the money. Now, some people may not have the same type of cash flow. So what is the interest of some of these dealers? To have prices that are, you could say, above comps. Their job is to make the most money as possible, and they have to pay for the rent and all that stuff. So you going in as a buyer, even though the economy is in a downturn, there's still dealers that are underwater, and they're going to try to recoup as much money as possible because they know some people are just saving up before the National. I think Flipping Steve was talking about that concept. People save up for a big event because he's seen something like that in the casinos. Just to paraphrase what he's, I think, trying to say. So you have that on one end. You have dealers that putting in a lot of money. Now, just for the average Joe, if they're flying into Atlantic City, okay, there's one thing. And then two, you have to consider gas prices high. You have to consider the market's tanking. You can't buy your cards and sell them for a quick profit just like many people are doing. And a lot of people, they don't look at the long term, they're looking at the short term. Just buying in the short term, you're not going to make that same amount of money. So for a lot of people, I don't think it makes sense. going to the National. For me, I'm not going. It's in Atlantic City. I wanted to go last year, but a family member of mine had surgery, so I couldn't go, and I had to help them out during that time. I really wanted to go. So some people say, hey, you're not going to the shows. Yeah, I did want to go to the shows. I did want to go before the pandemic as well. I think the Chicago Spectacular show was in November of 2019, if I remember. And if that's the case, I do remember at the time I was sick with pneumonia, so I couldn't go to the show, but I would have probably gone to that show. And then there's the pandemic. And me, I like buying online because just going to the shows, I just want to go in and out. And granted, over the past year, I've met people, online. I've been messaging people, so it'd be nice to see some of the people that watch my videos. Now, at the same time, unless you're going for a social reason, it doesn't make sense for me to go to the National. I mean, unless you live within a very close distance to the show in Atlantic City. Suppose you're in the New York, New Jersey, tri-state area. Okay, fine. What the tickets, 20, $25 as long as there's tickets? Okay, that makes sense. For me, last year, it totally made sense. This was in Rosemont, Illinois. My parents live by Rosemont, so after the show, I could always stop by my parents' house. So, and also my wife's family lives kind of near there too, so we could have stopped by their place too. So it makes sense for me to go to the Chicago, but it's not in Chicago this year. If they have it in Chicago next year, I may stop by. But just for deals and all that, I really don't see the point. You have to pay a lot money just to go there. And then on top of it, I don't know how many I have to take days off in the future this year. I only have a limited amount of time to take off for vacation. I think I was also talking to this with David as well. And then my wife said, oh, I want to go on this trip with my other friends. And then she's like, okay. Or I'm like, okay, fine. And then I have to just budget some time out of my work schedule. So it is what it is. This year, I'm not going. I will definitely head out to some of these shows in the future, but we're in a downturn. And even if the economy comes back, there are some smart people like Jeremy Siegel saying that, okay, this is a time where the market seems to be in a good spot, and it could probably help out collectibles too. And, it's probably only going to be the guys, if I had to take a guess, not the overpopulated stuff, but it could be like guys like Tom Brady, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, household names, Mickey Mantle, Will Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, like those cards that have taken a deep dive and everybody knows about. I wouldn't be surprised if those cards have a dead cat bounce. Now, I ultimately want to buy them on the cheap in a couple of years, and that's when I probably want to go to the National, when there's going to be dealers that are desperate to unload inventory. And if they won't unload inventory, you could negotiate probably some good deals on eBay. They're out of bearishness right now, and I do believe that, for some of these household names, you could probably get some of these cards on the cheap, just to be honest. Anyways, guys, I wanted to ask you guys, are you going to the National? And if you are, what are your plans there? And even if you're not going, tell me why you're not going. I am curious to see what some of you guys have to say. I know some of the content creators say that you're not serious about the hobby if you don't go. I don't think you should be guilt-shamed to be going just because content creators are saying that type of stuff. You have to remember some of the content creators weren't giving warning signs towards the top last year. Okay, so, if some content creator, gives people a hard time, in some of their videos, then you should tell them, hey, where were you over a year ago? Were you warning people? It is what it is, guys. Anyways, let me know what you think. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below, guys. Thank you. Bye.